Perfect. So moving on right into our first speaker. Are you there, Aoife? I think I see you. Aoife and Rosanna.
Yes, we're here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
We're good, thank you.
Good. And you're joining us. Are you in Dublin?
We're in Stillorgan. We're in Park
Okay.
House today, which is what we're going to be talking about, a day on campus here.
Cool. Exciting. Perfect. Really looking forward to your talk now. And feel free, everyone, to use the chat as mentioned. And just a reminder that the session is being recorded in case you have to jump out for any reason. We can get the recordings to you afterwards. Perfect. Thank you, Aoife and Rosanna. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Rosanna Doherty, and I'm the manager in National Learning Network in Park House in Stillorgan. I'm here with my colleague, Aoife.
Hello, I'm the Digital and Assistive Technology Officer in Rehab Group.
We might just get you there to put that into I think you're sharing the editing bit of the PowerPoint if you want to share it in slideshow, and we'll get that done for you.
So just the from beginning button there on the left should work.
Share it again because that is what she
Yeah.
clicked.
I thought I saw you click it and then it didn't change. You probably did
assistive
it.
technology in action, guys.
You probably did it 100 times before the session and it worked every time.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah, I saw you click it again.
Working for you guys?
So if you want to just, before you share, do the from beginning and then share like the actual PowerPoint slides.
Try again.
Yeah. I feel like midweek is when these things always happen to me as well. I'm always like, I was literally using it yesterday.
It's a Wednesday
Also that
thing.
we're used to Microsoft Teams.
So there you go.
It's a different setup for us here.
Absolutely. No worries at all.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's working. Yay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Okay, we'll try this again.
You're all good.
So hi everybody, I'm Rosanna Doherty and I am the manager in National Learning Network in Park House in Stillorgan, County Dublin.
My name is Aoife O'Murku and I'm the Digital and Assistive Technology Officer for Rehab Group.
So I'm going to start off this morning by just giving you an overview of what we do in National Learning Network. The National Learning Network is the education and training division of the Rehab Group. There are 54 centres nationwide, and NLN provides specialist training in a variety of subject areas, and we offer recognised qualifications and awards. We're primarily funded by 16 education and training boards and the HSE. Our training courses support a diverse student population, including students with intellectual disability, autism, mental health, or physical disability. NLN is unique in that we work in an individualised way, with each student having their own action plan while they're on a course with us. And our work is based in a culture of inclusivity and mutual respect, which means we recognise and understand that everybody is an individual. These pillars really guide our practice, and we work with our students to get to know their strengths, what's important to them, and what they need to reach their goals. So while doing a course with National Learning Network, students are supported by a multidisciplinary team, which include a team of psychologists, advocacy officers, rehabilitation officers, resource teachers, and our assistive technology service.
As I said earlier, I'm the Digital and Assistive Technology Officer in Rehab Group. DAT Central is the name of the Digital and Assistive Technology Service within Rehab Group, and it supports students in National Learning Network and the service users who attend rehab care. The aim of the service is to facilitate or enable access to technology that will support people to overcome barriers and live a life of their choosing. DAT Central was funded by the CREATE initiative from the HSE National Clinical Programme for People with Disabilities. And through this, we have supported over 400 new assistive technology users since the rollout of the service in 2022. We support access to low, medium and high-tech AT solutions, and we'll share examples of these today. So when we're considering technology with each person, we consider it by functional area and not by disability. So we look at how people move, see, hear, think, communicate, how they look after their health and well-being, and how they choose to have their needs met. It's a personal choice, and some people may not want to use technology to achieve their goals. So if the person is open to technology, it's then a process to find the right person tech match for them. And with this, technology trials are very important, as we need to understand what doesn't work, what works, what the person likes, dislikes, or what their preferences are. So today we're going to walk you through a day on the National Learning Network campus here in Park House, where digital and assistive technologies empower both students and staff in our work and studies. It's embedded in daily life at the National Learning Network Stillorgan, both mainstream and specialist technologies supporting communication, sensory regulation, well-being and independence, and of course learning. We aim to highlight the essential role technology plays in people's lives and how technology supports people's right to participate in all aspects of life.
So, like many of us, the morning in Park House often starts with a cup of tea or coffee. And James is a student of ours who likes to arrive early every morning so that he can enjoy a cup of tea or coffee before class begins. He is blind, and for safety reasons, others would often offer to make his tea or coffee for him in the morning. And although this included James in the morning chats over a cuppa, he wanted to have the independence of making his own hot drinks or to be able to offer to make tea or coffee for other students. His goal was to have the same morning experience as others. The tilt to pour kettle and liquid level indicator was all that it took for James to have a greater independence. So this kettle sits in a cradle, and its tilt and pour action directs hot water straight into the mug without having to lift the kettle from its cradle. So the water is poured in a safe and steady way. The liquid level indicator sits on the side of the cup, and it starts to beep when the water hits the prongs, letting you know when to stop pouring.
Laura is a student on the retail skills course. She doesn't write by hand, and she wanted to increase her typing speed while completing work. She has access to Office 365 with built-in accessibility features designed for and by people with disabilities. Laura uses the dictate function with a headset that has a directional mic, which allows her to use speech to text to write content. It's just one more way that we support Laura to complete her assignments.
So we also have a cubby in Park House, and Luke is a student who can often start to feel a little bit overwhelmed or stressed after a busy morning navigating public transport or the busy Dublin traffic. He likes to use the cubby for 15 minutes in the morning to settle ahead of the rest of the day. The cubby is a sensory pod designed to help people to regulate their sensory experiences in a variety of different environments. So it's customizable. So Luke can choose his favorite lighting, music, sounds to his own preferences. And we promote using the cubby not just for when people are feeling stressed or anxious, but as part of maintaining their overall well-being.
Emma is a student with dyslexia. She was finding it difficult to read, interpret, and complete assignments independently. She expressed interest in finding an assistive technology that would enable her to understand the questions for assignments without the additional support from her instructor. She trialed the C pen, that's a reader pen that reads text and translates it into spoken words to do this. And with the C pen, Emma has achieved her goal and her experience in the classroom has improved.
Joe does use his own voice to communicate, but it's not always fully understood by people who don't know him really well. He expressed an interest in trying to find a piece of technology that would support him in those situations. So like at lunchtime in a busy canteen where he doesn't know everybody. He also wanted something that would be available and accessible to him. And so he downloaded the Speech Assistant app on his phone and uses this to support his speech if needed. Speech Assistant is a text-to-speech app that allows the user to input their own phrases or expressions that they regularly use. This app has supported Joe to engage and cultivate new friendships with others during lunchtime. It also has the added benefit that Joe, who has severe allergic reactions, can also use it to alert people around him if he's having an allergic reaction.
Alex attends the Artling course in Parkhouse. He finds that he can often lose focus throughout the day as the classroom environment can be overwhelming and distracting. He wanted to know if there were any supports that would help with this. He now uses noise-cancelling headphones, which help him maintain focus while completing his work in the busy environment.
But James, the student that we met this morning for our coffee, also wanted to be able to tell the time without having to ask somebody else. He received a talking watch and can now keep track of time throughout the day and make sure that he gets his bus on time at the end of the day. This piece of assistive technology has also encouraged James's independence and allows him to tell the bus driver when he's running late.
So today we got to see how both mainstream and assistive technologies can be used to reduce barriers, foster independence, and promote inclusion over the course of the day on campus. The DAT Day at Parkhouse demonstrates how universal design for learning is incorporated into life on campus through multiple means of engagement, representation, and action and expression. Alex was able to fully engage with his studies through using sensory items in the classroom. Joe could participate fully with peers with the support of a communication app, and Laura uses the dictate function to complete her assignments, which allow her to demonstrate her knowledge without the need to physically type. I hope that we've successfully highlighted the essential role these technologies play in supporting everyone's right to fully participate in education by creating a more inclusive and effective learning environment for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aoife and Rosanna. What a cool session too, being able to talk us through one day to day, so many different technologies that are being used and so many good things happening with the technologies. Do you want to come in, Colleen?
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was really fascinating. I was just really interested. You mentioned that I suppose this has really kicked off in 2022. So I'm just wondering your sense of how receptive students were to technology. Obviously, those were great examples in terms of the arrange, but how have you found that journey with students as part of their individual planning?
It's been overall very positive. I think it very much depends on the student. So there have been the uptake in the CPEN, especially throughout National Learning Network, has been very well received. But I think with a few other things, there's more reluctance, I think, to try other things that you don't know as well. I think with the CPEN, you physically get an item and you can see how it's working straight away once you scan it across the page.
We also would have done a lot of work on the campus just around really creating an environment that's inclusive of all different types of assistive technology. So we would have had seminars and sessions with our students on inclusive education. So we held different talks. We have student advocates that come in to really ensure that even in our own campus, we're ensuring that like we're all very open to and understanding of different kind of needs around assistive technology and communication supports, etc. So we would have done a lot of work around that and just really setting the ethos for the assistive technology to really work and make sense in the campus for our students. I think that's really important as well.
Yeah, and it's still early days when you think about it. It's only 3 years, and I'd say you probably have a bit of that kind of, you know, we mentioned about the kind of advocates, but that peer learning. If somebody sees someone trying something, maybe they might be a little bit more willing to say, listen, this is what I want. And it's great how responsive the technology has been. I have a really cruel question. So if money was no object, in terms, I'm just curious what you're seeing as well, maybe in terms of kind of the needs or the wishes or the ambitions coming from students, because I think that's one of the pieces of technology development. It does need to be responsive to those needs. I'm just curious, any patterns that are emerging that might influence further rollout of AT.
I know we would have a lot of our students, we are continuous intake, but a lot of our students start in September. And so we've just completed a lot of our student referrals, which is really important because that's the kind of point in time where we gather information with our students who are due to start in September and really see what supports they will need, what will they require when they start their course with us. And I suppose one of the trends that we would see in terms of student support needs would definitely be around the area of communication. So a lot of kind of communication assistance devices, different apps and things, that would be, yeah, definitely a growing area of need that we are seeing here.
And that's across the board within National Learning Network and Rehab Care that we're seeing. So I suppose if money was no object, we'd be able to fund all of the AC devices that are required, and I suppose continue to keep them up to date as well, because as the apps change or as the person's needs change, that's where you come up against a challenge sometimes too.
Sorry, Colleen, you're on mute.
Sorry, I
More
was just saying
technology.
thanks. It was really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect. And there's a few more questions coming in the chat if you're willing to stick around for a bit, Aoife and Roseanne.
Yeah,
is that okay?
sure.
Yeah. So Rosalind there is saying was there a lot of work with the setup of speech assistant? They say it's worth its weight in gold if utilized well, but it might need a good bit of setup and support to personalize it and adjust it from other apps. So they're just wondering what your process was there, what kind of the setup.
To be honest, when we did the assessment with that student, he took out his phone and downloaded it on the spot. So for that particular person, there wasn't a lot of more work that either one of us needed to do. I think we were in this room and he was happy to go and try it himself. We were showing how to edit kind of the phrases specifically when it came to allergies at the time, but in that one case, there wasn't a huge kind of lot of extra work for us in setting it up. But the important part is that it worked for him, whereas there could be another centre that I'll go into and they'll look at speech assistant and think, no, that's not for me. There's too much on the screen, or I don't like the way I have to add these things in. So it depends on the day to day, on who you're meeting on that day.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if any other student may need that, and they may see, as Colleen mentioned, they may see one student being successful with it, it'll spur another use of it. So yeah, definitely makes sense. Perfect. And then we have Marie McGowan just saying that local libraries oftentimes provide the TTT program. So toys, technology, and training, just the demand is very high for them. And it would be great to see, it's not exactly a question, just that it'd be great to see more libraries showcasing these technologies. And
Yeah,
I think,
because I think you can get the C pen in a lot of the local libraries now. But again, if there's a lot of people looking to borrow that to read the books, then one more person can't use it.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something we've seen a huge uptake in, mostly throughout ETBs throughout the country, just from our research. Huge uptake in C-pens, I think, very beneficial. And I know I had talked to someone from Cork ETP who uses them in the prison services as well and finds them very helpful there. So just a huge technology that's come a long way and I think is very useful to a lot of people. And there's actually a question about it in the chat. This person is saying they actually don't have much uptake with the C-pen in their FET and their further education and training center. Learners find it too laggy and don't connect to the C-pen voice. But it's interesting to hear the comparison. I wonder, do you have any tips there or anything you can?
I think it's trying to spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes of the person who's using it to practice with it, because I know some of the difficulties we've come across is holding it correctly and putting it across the page at the right speed, if you want to say it that way. There have been some difficulties, but I think when the person gets used to it and it starts becoming second nature in a way, then that's where we've seen the positive reaction to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at least a few of the brands of C-pens do offer different voices. So if for some reason a student doesn't connect with one of the voices, you might try a different one.
Yeah.
I see.
Speeds, I think, as well. There can be adjustable speeds on some of them also.
Yeah. And I see Carol put here in the chat that speech assistants can need a special fit depending on the access or skills or capabilities of the learner. So there are lots of adjustments that can and should be made.
Yeah, so for that particular app, it was based on the assessment of that student. So it could be that another student would have come into us, and I think it was the Grace app we were going to trial with them. So it depends on who you're meeting on the day.
Yeah, and that is one of the questions. So are there any specific C-pen brands that are easy to use and not prohibitive for ETBs to purchase that you might guide us towards asking for?
I suppose I'd have to know what was prohibitive for it. But I know there is a new version, I think, of an Orcam that it scans a whole page, but it's about, from what I remember, it's about €700. So if you were buying a number of those, it would be quite costly.
Yeah. Perfect. And just, I think one other comment is it's interesting to see that the C pens are one of the tools we use here at the College of FET. Just they were saying over time, some learners moved to use a mobile app with similar functions, which I think can also be cheaper for some learners. However, the C pen is still a useful tool for some learners with low literacy levels. It has also functionality which can scan text to fill out forms, or I lost the comment there. Fill out forms or use it in an integrated way.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, especially students, are moving towards apps. They want, like, we all have our phones with us nearly 24/7. You want to be able to pick it out of your pocket. And I think it was one student, not in this centre, but she wanted to be able to read the menu, and you don't want to have to take out a C pen and scan it across your menu. So she was trialing a different app just to see how that would work. It was actually, I think it was the Seeing AI app, because you can scan words on that as well, and it will read it out loud. So it wasn't developed for people with dyslexia or had low literacy levels, but it still has a chance to help them with that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the students often doing reading outside of school as well. So if the C-pen's only available in school, that brings up the issue of what happens outside of school. Carol Neenan here from Cork ETB is saying, we find that the men in Cork prison get fabulous benefit from the C-pens. They can bring them back to the cells and read independently, I think, which is huge. But they can concur that they have other ETB learners who the pens they can give them out to, but they need them back in favor of accessibility features, or they prefer other accessibility features on 365 apps on their phones, etc. Just an interesting question as well from Aoife, I think directed to these two from the Learning Network, but maybe to everyone. Has anyone experienced their students refusing to try any form of AT? And any advice to get around that, encourage students to try the AT? Maybe you haven't come across that, but maybe you have.
We'd have maybe sometimes a bit of reluctance, and some of the things that I've tried is actually using it myself when I'm in the centre. If I suppose people observe other people doing things and like it's a normal everyday kind of thing to do, then sometimes that might encourage somebody to try it as well. Do you have any other?
No, that is it really, and it goes back to, I think it was Colleen, was it, who said, like, when you see someone else using it, then you're more interested in possibly having a go, really. And also, I think a lot of it is if someone is showing reluctance, to try and do it in a fun way, in a way that there's something they enjoy, to try and bring it in that way as well.
Yeah, and I think as well, seeing someone else scariness or the fear of doing something new that no one else has done, but seeing someone else use it and enjoy it or be successful with it might take away that kind of.
Or even if you see them do something wrong with it and then correct it like that, it's not the end of the world if that does happen. That'd be a good thing as well.
Yeah, and I think Rosalind might have experienced something similar, and she says they brought them into a whole class once as a different way of reading. So spreading out these pens throughout the class. She was just after getting 10, so was lucky enough to have access to all 10. Just had everyone trying them at once, which I think is a good way of doing it. Yeah, letting people see different ways of reading. Perfect. One more, I think, and we might just have one more question from the chat before we move on. But Rushi here is saying one of their older students was scared to use the LiveScribe pen due to the fear of accidentally damaging it, just because they are pretty valuable. So they told them it's the same as using a phone. They didn't want them to break it, so just to be careful, but they still let them have a go at it. So yeah, good example there as well. Perfect. I might just check if there's any final questions before we let you go enjoy. We know what you're up to for the rest of the day since we walked through your day today. Open up the floor for, I don't think there's any more questions coming in. So thank you so much, Rosanna and Aoife. Wonderful session this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.